Hello, you've somehow found bipolar opposites, or have decided to come back. That is great. So if you don't already know, my name is Tim Cubbett and I host this web series. Okay, so some of you might not know what bipolar opposites is. It's about topics that people don't understand, or else don't know much about, if anything, or else other people don't understand. I've said this before, but for you noobs, I'll say it again. See how this is called bipolar opposites? Well, that's because, duh, I'm living with bipolar disorder, and bipolar opposites just sounds cool, to me anyway. So this is the world only person living with bipolar disorder, or at least myself, would see. Notice I say I'm living with bipolar disorder, and not saying I'm bipolar. I spent 2 months on a mental unit, by my own choice, and they taught us patients that by saying, I am, insert disorder here, is saying you are your disorder. But saying I'm living with insert disorder here, I'm saying that you have your disorder, but it doesn't define your life. A wise woman at the hospital taught us to own it. Something I now live by, which hosting this series proves that. I also have another disorder that you might not know the medical term, but you've heard the non-medical term before. Dissociative identity disorder, DID, also known as multiple personality disorder. It is highly misunderstood, and many people don't even believe it exists. Well, I am here to prove it to you. Repeat viewers know that most of my episodes are backed up by research. I use this research to strengthen my point and to educate not just my viewers, but also myself. I always give credit to my sources, so it's not just plagiarism. So for this episode, I'll explain 4 points of the disease. First, I'll talk about what DID is, and then the underlying causes of DID, then the symptoms of DID, and then the treatment for DID. Then I'll follow up with what I know of my DID. I hope to educate you, my viewer, on just what the disease is, how serious it is, and the fact that it's real. First off, I did a lot of research for this episode, as I thought several multiple sources would be pragmatic. Note that these sites will be cited one at a time and might come off sounding a little wonky, but please bear with me. I'll start with the Psychology Today's website explanation on what dissociative identity disorder is. DID is a severe condition in which two or more distinct identities or personality states are present in and ultimately take control of an individual. The person experiences memory loss that is too extensive to be explained by ordinary forgetfulness. It is a disorder characterized by identity fragmentation rather than proliferation of separate personalities. The disturbance is not due to the direct psychological effects of a substance or the general mental condition, but yet, as this once rarely reported disorder has become more common, the diagnosis has become controversial. DID was called multiple personality disorder until 1994, when the name was changed to reflect a better understanding of the condition, namely that it's characterized by a fragmentation or splintering of identity, rather than by a proliferation or growth of separate identities. DID reflects a failure to integrate various aspects of identity, memory, and consciousness into a single multidimensional self. Usually the primary identity carries the individual's given name and is passive, dependent, guilty and depressed. When in control, even personality states or alters may be experienced as if it has a distinct history, self-image, and identity. The alter's characteristics include name, reported age, and gender, vocabulary, general knowledge, and predominant mood conscious with those of the primary identity. Certain circumstances or stressors can cause a particular alter to emerge. The various identities may deny knowledge of one another, be critical of one another, or appear to be in open conflict. Next, I'll share from the website Go Mentor some additional facts from them that weren't in Psychology Today's. When a person goes from one personality to another, it is called switching. Some people even have identities that are animals. Next, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, which I've used before and they have a fantastic site, can add a few more facts. The different identities, referred to as alters, may exhibit differences in speech, mannerisms, attitudes, thoughts, or gender orientation. The authors may even present physical differences such as allergies, rare left-handedness, or the need for eyeglass prescriptions. A person living with DID may have as few as 2 alters or as many as 100 if the average number is about 10. Alters are stable over time, continuing to play specific roles in the person's life for years. Some alters may harbor aggressive tendencies directed towards individuals in the person's environment or towards other alters within the person. A very common complaint in people affected by DID is episodes of amnesia or time loss. These individuals may be unable to remember events in all or part of the preceding time period. They may repeatedly encounter unfamiliar people who claim to know them and find themselves somewhere without knowing how they got there, or find items that they don't remember purchasing among their possessions. Next, I'd like to go back to Go Mentor's website to share the explanations of the causes of DID. The 4 main things that are thought to be causes of this disorder. For some people, it is an innate ability to feel disconnected to the world. For other people, a childhood filled with multiple occurrences of physical and sexual abuse is something that increases the chances of this disorder appearing. Along with these causes, other outside influences are a lack of comfort from an adult, and living in an environment with other people who have mental disorders can also have an influence on whether or not this disease shows up.